Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more F1 My Team content, and today we are here for the Mexican Grand Prix, the third from last round of the season. And guys, if you missed the last episode at USA, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. But today we are here at Mexico, and this race of course is going to be a pretty big one because we are currently in the midst of a big battle in the drivers and constructors standings, and we are currently hoping to hold on to a third place, and that's what we're kind of fighting for here today. Also, the Drivers' Championship between Bottas and Hamilton could be decided in this episode, so stay tuned for that one, guys. But if you are excited for this video, drop me a like and also subscribe if you are new for more daily F1 content on the channel. We recently passed 50k subs, and I want to try and keep pushing until the end of the year, so if you guys want to do that, it'd massively help me out. And without further ado, let's get today's episode underway. So first and foremost, we are on the laptop. You can see on screen the weather forecast this weekend. Looks like we may have a chance of rain in qualifying. We then move on to the R&D graph, and today we have brought the final upgrade of the season, I think, and it's going to be an engine upgrade, and it has meant that we've got quite a big gap, to be fair, between ourselves and Racing Point and also Red Bull Racing. So I'm kind of thinking, you know what, we're going to start saving up some R&D points now and, you know, turning our focus to next season. I feel like we should be able to hold on to that third place until the end of the year. Therefore, I don't think we need to upgrade anymore, and hopefully that gamble pays off. We've also got a lot of money saved up to make some big investments, guys, heading into next year. Potentially getting a new driver as a teammate, you never know. We'll see how that goes either way. After practice, we did go P1, fastest of anybody by 1.5 seconds pretty much, and the pace was looking very good indeed around Mexico. And we also scored a pretty good chunk of R&D points, so a lot of positives to take heading into the qualifying session. And there's Mick Schumacher, of course, gaining a little bit more acclaim. He's very close now to level 12, and Mick Schumacher, of course, who just won the F2 feature race at Monza just now. Either way, we are here for qualifying, guys, and this is Q1 more specifically, and we're going to see how qualifying goes. Hopefully we can do well. The pace of the car looks very strong, so I'm kind of hoping to challenge for pole, really. I think we are that strong. So here we are then, Q1 on the soft compound tyres, and this was actually my first run and my only run in Q1. And the reason being for that was actually because this lap was so damn good. We was comfortably safe, you know, from getting eliminated in Q1, and we were so safe that we actually went P1. We went quickest of anybody at the time. Eventually, though, we simulated ahead in the session. We did some time simulation, and of course, the glitch came into effect, and we got pushed down to P7. Mick Schumacher P15, so he does get through into Q2. And you can see here in Q2 at the very start of the session, there was rain expected straight away. So I literally hit the track straight away because I didn't want to get caught out by the rain, and I wanted to get a lap in on the dryers and try and get it over and done with. To my surprise, the rain actually didn't arrive. It was a bit of a delayed one where it was a bit of inconsistency. The weather report wasn't exactly accurate, and we managed to do a full lap in the dryer. So this was my best lap of the weekend, guys. So let's run on board, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And here we go, out of the final corner, running up to the line, and we go P2, just behind Valtteri Bottas at 1 minute 12.2. Not my overall quickest lap of the weekend. We went quicker in Q1, but it was a very clean and smooth lap, and I was very, very happy with it. And you can see Mick Schumacher also in P4, and we all progress into Q3 quite comfortably as the rain started to arrive at the end of Q2. And then eventually, by the start of Q3, the track was pretty wet, and it was all in intermediate conditions. And to be fair, it didn't affect us one bit. The car was just as quick in the wet as it was in the dry. This is currently my first time lapping Q3. We are going for a 2-lap run, and this was actually a really good opening lap. Currently P10. Let's see where this first lap is going to put us. It's P1 and provisional pole for now, but this was another lap coming up right now, guys, in the wet conditions. So let's run on board for another lap, this time in the wet.
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
And look at this, through the final corner, we are 0.4 of a second up, and we cross the line, smash our previous personal best, and we are comfortably quickest as it stands right now in Q3. We then move on to the final runs, and this was my final attempt, and unfortunately the track was just starting to dry out a bit too much, and I was losing some grip, so eventually I decided to give up because, you know, we didn't need it. We was comfortably through, and yeah, nobody else was able to improve, so I bailed into the pit lane, and therefore securing our first pole position in quite a while, actually. I don't remember the last time I had pole. I don't even know if I've had one this season, so I might be wrong there. This might be my first pole of the season, but a brilliant qualifying here today. The car was phenomenal, and we was clear by 0.2 ahead of Lewis Hamilton, the only man in the 122s. Mick Schumacher unfortunately only managed 8th place. Quite disappointing. I don't think he managed to maximise his lap completely, because I know he was quicker than that, so a bit of a shame to not see both cars a bit higher up, but we secure pole, and that is massive, of course, for our championship battle of holding on to that 3rd place in the drivers and constructors. Either way, guys, that is it for qualifying. We're now going to move into an interview.
Looks like you had a great qualifying session. It must be a relief being that far up the grid.
Of course, you know, P1, it's great, but the run down to the first corner is going to be very tricky, but the car is great. Really, really great.
How do you feel the competition is for you this season?
I think it's pretty good. I think everyone's driving at a really high level, to be honest, this year.
Appreciate your time.
And there we go then. After qualifying, we outscore Sebastian Vettel in the rivalry. So we are going to take a slight lead as we have 3 races to go, of course, this one and the final 2. And we're going to move into the acclaim part of the video. And again, no real gains for me now. It's very hard for me to gain acclaim at this point. And as a team, we gain a very small amount, but still no real gains made. Either way, guys, that is it for qualifying here today. We're now going to move into the race for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Welcome along to the most populous city in North America and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6 mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lando Norris. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Leclerc, Schumacher, Vettel, Ocon, and Carlos Sainz. Albon, Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Magnussen, Kvyat, Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. And Kimi Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, Grosjean, and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Here we go then, guys. It's time for the Mexican Grand Prix, starting from pole position here today. Of course, it's probably not the best track to get pole because the run down to the first corner is absolutely massive. So it's going to be tricky, but we're going to try and do our best to hold on to our lead, and hopefully we can try and get a nice clean launch, get a nice early gap on the straight, and hopefully with the overtake and rich mix we should have enough to hold on. In terms of the race strategy though, it's an interesting one. I'm going to go for a soft medium, try and be very aggressive in the first part of the race. We've actually underfueled the car by 0.5, again, to try and take some stress off the soft tyres in the first stint, to make the first stint a bit easier, and we can hopefully get a bit further. There is no sunshine, it's all just overcast today, so hopefully track conditions should be a bit cooler, which might make things better for the tyres. And generally, I'm hoping to go long in the first stint because the longer we go, I think the better our chances will be. And I want to try and build a gap. So we're going to see how it goes. I feel confident I can win this race, but we are going to have to make some overtakes, I think, to get past some one-stoppers. So let's see how it goes. Either way, guys, let's get racing here for the third from last round of the calendar for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, let's see what kind of start we get then as we get ready for the 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go. That's perfect, nice and clean, good getaway. Hamilton got a very good first phase, but we responded quite nicely in the second one. Overtake and rich mix, looks like they're not even going to challenge us into turn 1. So we can take the first corner. I'm going to take a very aggressive early apex there through 1. But there we go, job done. We've held on to our lead, which is crucial. And we've got battling behind Perez there, getting stuck in with Bottas in his home Grand Prix. Verstappen now up to P5 in the Red Bull, so we've got Lewis behind for company. And of course he can win the championship today. If he outscores Bottas, that is it, job done. So it's going to be interesting. Either way, let's focus on our own race here. Let's try and see if we can get out the DRS range of Lewis and get that 1 second gap as we go through the S's for the first time. I've also got to try and get my confidence back after driving in the wet in Q2 and Q3. It's going to take a minute to get back to these conditions, but the gap is 9/10 to Lewis, so we're doing a good job here already. Alright then, end of lap 2. And we've got a 1.4 second, make that 1.3 second gap to Lewis, so pace is very strong.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Crucially, there's another 2 seconds to Bottas behind, so it's literally me and Lewis out front at the moment, which is good. And now we've got to try and manage that gap, maintain that as best as we can. Try and pull away, of course, if possible, but we've got to remember the Mercedes cars are so quick on this career mode. They're so much further ahead than everybody else in the R&D graph, but for now it looks like the rest of the weekend our pace has actually been very encouraging and very strong, so I'm hoping to make it count for something good. Okay, we're starting to really fly now. The gap to Lewis 2.5. The AI have had their 2-3 laps where they've run at max power and then they turn the engines down a little bit, so we've got some really strong pace. Only a 10th off my personal best that time around. Let's try and keep this pace up. The tyres still feel absolutely great, and I feel quite confident I can get this gap out even more. So let's keep pushing because traffic will be key today. So the more we pull away on this stint and the faster we go to open the gap to those one-stoppers, the better, because then it means less cars we've got to overtake once we start making our pit stops. Oof, getting a bit loose there, but still. New fastest lap, still going strong. Gap to Lewis now 3.7. Really pushing.
For a new strategy option. Got that confirmed?
We'll stick to the original strategy. I think it's going to work better for us. I'm not too fussed. I'll only go longer if I feel like it's genuinely going to benefit me, but it's too early to tell yet. Let's just keep pushing. Gap to Lewis now 4 seconds. We are really putting on a clinic here. What incredible pace. Pace has just dropped off now the last couple of laps. Tyres are starting to wear out now, but we're still very quick compared to everyone else. Gap to Lewis now 6.2 seconds. As you can see, we're 8/10 off our personal best, but we're still going very strong. This lap and then one more before we pit. I'm looking at Verstappen, gap is 13 seconds, so I want to try and get that gap up some more. Okay, Bottas pits. We're going to pit this lap. One more lap, let's go, let's push. Right then, here we go, through the stadium section. I feel like my upshift paddle has had a problem. I just felt it go at the start of the lap. Something's happened, it doesn't feel as good, but I think I should be okay. I just feel like it's not detecting all my shifts, but hopefully we should be okay. Into the pit lane we go. Right, so we've got 17 seconds to mix Schumacher in P5, so to be fair, we've built a massive gap. We may actually clear all the one-stoppers after 11 laps. It's been that good of a first stint. We're going to go to soft tyres again and be aggressive.
Release, release.
2.2, great stop from the team. Here comes Mick Schumacher, he's going to take the lead for one lap.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
And there we go, job done. We're actually out ahead of Charles Leclerc. We're comfortably ahead of the one-stoppers, so we've rejoined in a net P2, so there we go. That first stint, absolute mammoth of a first stint, pays off. And now, in theory, it should be smooth sailing until the finish line, which is control the race, manage the pace, make sure we secure that fastest lap to get the extra point, and bring the car home. Simple as that. Long way to go still, of course. Safety cars and stuff can happen, but if it was a normal race, it looks like we're going to the end now, and it's all about just management, really. Here we go, I'm expecting Mick in the pit lane, and there we go, he peels off. So that's going to give us the lead back in this race.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
Let's see if we can set a new fastest lap and a new benchmark. Looks like everyone's actually pitting, to be fair, all the remaining cars that haven't stopped yet. So we'll get a much better indication as to where everybody is now that all the pit stops have happened. I'm kind of hoping Mick can fight his way through. He had good pace in the dry all weekend long. It was just in the wet it let him down. So hopefully it can come through the field. We've got Giovinazzi there in P5 on the hard tyre, so he's one stopping the race, as you can see. Here we go, then we're going to smash the previous fastest lap. Hopefully we're getting to the 113s. Yes, we do. There we go, job done. Gap to Lewis now, 12.8. Lewis has lost so much time in that pit stop phase. I think he may have rejoined behind traffic. So we're looking very comfortable as we lose Lance Stroll from the race. In the racing point. First retirement here today. Okay, Schumacher now up to P5. Considering he started P8, he's going pretty well today. Mick looks like he's improving. To be fair, he does have top 4 pace. He's had that all weekend long, so I'm expecting to hopefully push into the top 4. He's right behind Perez as it stands, so we may get past him soon. And there we go, Schumacher goes past Perez up into P4. You'd love to see it. At the moment, Mick Schumacher is yet to have a podium for us in our team in 2 seasons as Bottas pits. Could today be the day Schumacher finally steps onto the rostrum? You never know. Okay, Lewis pits onto the medium tyres. Looks like Schumacher is staying out even longer. I don't know why he didn't just box. I mean, I'm going to pit this lap, so hopefully there's no issues. We've got enough of a gap that a stack shouldn't be a problem, even if the pit crew are very slow. Right, here we go. We're going to box for our second and final stop. Just as we approach traffic, the timing is pretty much spot on, to be honest. Bottas actually, he's going to the hard tyres, so if Mick goes onto mediums, he may have a chance to maybe catch him for the podium positions either way. Here we go. We need one more stop. Hopefully it's nice and clean, no dramas. We can get away on the mediums and then hopefully go to the finish. Kind of hoping for no safety cars, to be honest, but here we go.
Exit now.
2.9, not the best stop, but that's okay, we'll take that. Right, let's rejoin. Nice bit of clean air, no traffic.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Is Mick not going to pit? Okay, there we go, he does pit finally.
Mick is coming in for his stop.
Right, so that's really what we've got to look forward to, really. Just keep an eye on Mick. I think he's going to rejoin behind Giovinazzi, so we'll see how that one progresses over time. There we go, Giovinazzi pits. Schumacher takes back P4. Now the chase is on. Can he catch Valtteri Bottas? 7 seconds up the road, but he's in a much better tyre, Schumacher, so he may have a chance today, you never know. To be fair, these tyres have not been that fast. We're nowhere near a personal best. I tried it, but there's nowhere near enough pace, so it's okay. I think we should still be okay to pick up the extra point, hopefully. We missed out in the last race by a fraction, but hopefully today it doesn't get taken away from us, and we can try and bring that home. And looking at Schumacher, looks like he's 5 seconds behind Bottas, so he's not quite close enough. Looks like Valtteri's got enough pace to hold on, so at the minute now we're just kind of tackling traffic. You can see here this Williams has been in front of me now pretty much the entire lap so far, and not getting out of the way, and as I say that, there we go. George Russell moves out to one side, so yeah, we're just kind of bringing this one home really and cruising. We're still pulling away from Lewis even whilst cruising. You know, I could potentially push flat out and try and get a gap to box and, you know, go for the fastest lap again on a fresh set of soft tyres, but it's pointless. It's a pointless risk to take. Ooh, okay, Kvyat.
The safety car has been deployed. Watch your
Well,
delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack.
that's not ideal. I feel like there's some kind of scripting issue because it always happens on this game now. Whenever there's a safety car, it always happens right at the end, every single time. I could potentially box the soft tyres, but, you know, do I risk throwing away track position, really? Is it worth it? I don't think it is, to be honest. But this might give Schumacher a chance of closing in on Bottas and getting past, so this could be a good thing for us as a team, but for me, I think I'm going to stay out on these tyres. Okay, it's time for the restart then. Let's see how this goes. Let's try and be cheeky with this. Trying to make sure I keep some temperature in the tyres. The good thing is we've got a few lap cars, so Hamilton is 2 seconds behind us still. So this could get spicy. Alright, here we go then. Let's see if we can get permission to go. That was horrible, absolutely horrific. I don't like how you don't really get full control on the restarts in this game. You're definitely limited by the game. Still, away we go. Just going to burn up all the rich mix and overtake and hope that Schumacher can get Bottas. But we've got a nice gap to Lewis. 2 laps to go. Very straightforward now. Let's just bring this one home and no dramas, please. Okay, here we go then, guys. In towards the final sector. It's been a dominant race here today and a dominant weekend all round. We fully deserve this. Hopefully we keep the fastest lap, because if we do, it's going to be a Grand Slam weekend and hopefully we can get that. Schumacher unfortunately won't get the podium, but we come through to win the Mexican Grand Prix.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. A nearly flawless performance here then, and a commanding victory. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Right guys, so let's look at the final results here today. We pick up the win and the fastest lap, which means combined with the pole position, we have had the Grand Slam weekend, picking up the 3 main accolades, which is awesome. The first time that's ever happened to me on this game and in this career mode. Hamilton finishes P2, Bottas holds on to 3rd, Schumacher P4, again can't quite make the podium, Verstappen 5th, Perez in his home race P6, Sebastian Vettel P7 ahead of Ricciardo, Albon and Charles Leclerc scoring the final point. Giovinazzi 11th ahead of Gasly, Ocon, Sainz, Norris, Raikkonen, Latifi, Magnussen, Grosjean, Russell, Kvyat and Stroll, with the bottom 2 not scoring any points and DNFing here today. We then move into the driver standings, and after that race, we are still comfortably P3. Schumacher up to 13th place, so he gains 2 places in the driver standings, and is only 2 points behind Kvyat, so a bit of a late push maybe from Mick Schumacher to try and save his job. And further on, to be fair, we're less than 40 points behind Bottas, so I don't think we can catch him. 2 races to go, but we could get close. In terms of the constructors, we are 3rd, and that is mathematically confirmed now. So Mercedes have swept everything. Hamilton wins the drivers, Mercedes win the constructors, and we pick up 3rd place in the drivers also and the constructors. So really good news for us, guys. We've guaranteed a 3rd place finishing spot, which is massive for the prize money heading into season 3. But guys, that is it for the Mexican Grand Prix. We're now going to move into the laptop and take care of some admin before the next race in Brazil.
Was there really any competition for you today?
Well, I've got to say the performance was insane, to be honest. I think it surprised us how good the car was. Obviously, there's always competition. You know, you've got to try and watch out for things around you. And as you saw at the end, you know, the safety car can always throw something in the works. But You know, the car's very reliable, and that helps. I think it's a big factor.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
I think, you know, as a team this season, we've really stepped up, and you know, we're pushing the boundaries, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
You performed better than last weekend. What changed?
I don't think last weekend was too bad, to be honest, but this weekend I think the car just worked beautifully. The engine upgrades worked really well as well, so yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, so looking at the rivalry breakdown after that race, we outscore Sebastian Vettel by 3 points, and we've now got a 6-point lead over him, pretty much almost double the points, which is great. We then move into the team acclaim, and we don't really get that much now. Even with a race win, we don't really make that much progress. As a team, though, we do gain quite a fair amount, and we're now pretty much halfway there to being level 19. Mick gaining a respectable amount as well, and we hit all of our cash bonuses this weekend, which is great. Also, in terms of damage deductions, Mick had $1,000 knocked off. Not quite sure exactly why, but besides that, pretty much a perfect weekend, and we're now well over $15 million in terms of cash fund. Okay, so we've got 10 days until the Brazilian Grand Prix. So first and foremost, let's assign some activities. Now, I want to see if Mick can get that podium. You know, I feel like it would be nice. Ultimately, I think Mercedes are too quick. Looking at the options in terms of what we can improve, I feel like second driver PR filming is going to be a good one. It's going to give us a nice little cash boost, and it's going to improve Mick's acclaim. I think a sponsor event to improve team acclaim as well would be good. And then we've got 4 more days left, so we'll go for 2 days of G-Force training for Mick Schumacher, and then we'll go for some aero building because it doesn't affect other departments and it only affects the aerodynamics. So activities assigned, we then move into the R&D graph, and looking at the options, I think I'm going to start saving up some R&D points. I've got to be honest, guys. I'd love to throw some upgrades on. We can definitely work, especially in the aero. We've got 3 big upgrades here for the major ones we can definitely make and really improve the car. But I think I'm going to wait and do them potentially over the winter. So give me, guys, give me some feedback in the comments down below. I'll listen to your feedback. If you want me to do them right now, I'll do them after the Brazilian Grand Prix, the next race. So I'll be keen to hear your feedback on that. As we look at the R&D graph, you can see we've got quite a pretty big margin now over Red Bull and Racing Point. To be fair, we're pretty comfortable. We should be able to hang on to this until the end of the season. So I'm not too concerned there, which is good. And then, of course, I do have one eye on the driver market. And yeah, we're going to see, because there's a few options I'm looking at here in terms of drivers. And I'm not saying we're going to get rid of Mick, but I might get rid of him. It depends how we spend our money over the winter. If we want to push for that constructors title and be a better team and a stronger team next year, then we've got to consider our options. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Either way, guys, I'm rambling, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's skip ahead and let's get to the Brazilian Grand Prix. And there we go then, job done. Everything has been completed. We're now over 2,200 R&D points in, which is great. And also a bit more money as well. We're nearly $17 million now. But guys, that is it from me here today for this episode of the My Team Career Mode. If you guys enjoyed it, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new, guys, for daily F1 content on the channel. I've got some big things lined up for Season 3, guys, so stay tuned for that one. But guys, on screen right now, you've got 2 other videos, so go check those out. And also click the bell icon to be notified when those new videos do go live. But guys, that's it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.